The project is about the 18th and 19th century remaking of the city of Benares. And this is a city that is this quintessential Hindu pilgrimage city.
It goes back a long time in the way it has evolved from being a temple city to where it is today, where it's one of the most religious sites.
And it has a textual life, so it's a story that's been told through religious texts that date back to the 6th century. However, its built environment is largely an 18th and 19th century set of buildings and spaces. So this project is about the story of that remaking.
That city has undergone a lot of transformation, like right from different rulers came and conquered that place, and so you can actually see how that city has evolved and changed, and it has a lot of different identities.
Basically, since I'm interested in sort of telling the story of regeneration, it meant a deeper investigation of its buildings and spaces. So I collaborated with two students in architecture, Nandita and Rohan, and they have created a city map, and they have created detailed drawings, plans and sections of historic structures. So the product will be a book, and these drawings that Nandita and Rohan have created will illustrate a number of these chapters.
When we went on site and documented, I actually looked into the architectural styles, and we worked on around, I think, close to 15 to 16 sites, and we did a lot of CAD drawings of what we documented. So we went on site, measured the historic buildings and transformed them into sketches, and we brought back those sketches here and drafted them out.
It's forced me to look at certain formal and spatial elements that I might have overlooked had I just used photographs. Right? So it has forced me to look more deeply into how buildings have been put together, how spaces have been created, that I probably would not have done otherwise.
Actually, even when we started drafting, there were a problem with how much should we detail out, because you were actually creating like this composite plan of a larger city. So when you split up the maps, it was like in each small map, how much do we need to have? So when we did the initial few maps, we realized that we were actually drafting and rastering a lot more than was required. The way that they were looking at trying to study the city, which has kind of been an enigma since I don't know, centuries, and the way they were looking at it, I think that was what was really interesting. Being an architecture student, it's really important to understand that in the real world I'll be part of a much larger design team. So there are different engineers who go into it. There's always a client, then there's the architect, the landscape architect. So working interdisciplinary here with other people, it kind of prepares you for working on a team rather than being just working in your own silo or as an individual. It prepares you for understanding what team dynamics are, how things need to be done.